Welcome to today's episode of Next Slide Please, with special guest Soph from the YouTube channel Curio.
Woo!
Today's episode is about number one best-selling personal finance book of all time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh my gosh.
You may know Rich Dad, Poor Dad if you've been in any bookshop outside of your local anarchist bookshop in the last 20 years. The personal finance and or smart thinking section.
No, I know nothing about this. You've been saying Rich Dad, Poor Dad for the last week and I have no idea what it means.
Sad to say I know about it both through Rachel's anecdotes and also having a peruse one time.
In the smart thinking section?
Gross.
Oh no.
Thoroughly gross.
Yeah. I read the whole thing for this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dedication.
I'm
I only read a
it wasn't
Wikipedia
that.
page. I would
Me
never read a
too.
book one of these things.
So Robert Kiyosaki very generously gives us the opportunity to learn what rich parents teach their children about money that we poors you wouldn't usually have access to. And he does this by telling us about his own two dads. His rich dad, who was in fact the dad of his best friend, and his poor dad, who was his own dad, and an academic.
Oh, it's poor dad, being called the poor dad.
Well, yeah.
It's a bit of shade against his
It
own
may be
dad.
the best-selling personal finance book of all time, but that's not a nice thing to call a book.
It's not.
Especially because however many nice things he says about his own father in this book, his father is poor and poor is bad. That's the real takeaway.
Just to start with, the assumption is that rich people are rich because they know stuff that poor people don't.
Yeah, we'll get
Yeah,
there.
nice.
Yeah, he gave Rich Dad the Plato Treatment, which is to say that all of the advice we ever get to hear from Rich Dad, we hear through Robert Kiyosaki. There's no like direct quotations from him. It's all like the memories of the surprisingly concise and detailed memories of conversations that they had when he was 8 years old, which reminds me of like a lot of other pedagogical philosophical texts where they have a conversation and the student says exactly the right thing in response to any question.
Then that's when Rich Dad told me I was really smart and cool and handsome.
Well, yeah, it's actually quite cute how much he valorizes his 8-year-old self. Like, even though he's tempted by his poor dad ways, he like there's something in him that always knows the like true path to wealth.
So he's a Mary Sue.
I was going to say it's very Kylo Ren shit. He's like, I feel the pull of the poor dad. I don't know if I'm strong
like-
enough to be a psychopathic CEO.
But in the end, he's only ever talking to himself because there's no evidence, unlike Poor Dad, who's his father, there's no evidence that Rich Dad ever actually existed. And bear in mind, even though this is the number one best-selling personal finance book of all time, he has written dozens of books with this brand. He's
So he found a shtick
In
and
which-
stayed with it.
Oh yeah.
Are you
Oh,
telling
yeah,
me,
big time.
Rach, that Rich Dad of Rich Dad, Poor Dad fame doesn't even exist?
Yeah, no.
Man, that's fucked up.
So let's get into the meat and bones of it. Let's talk about some of the advice.
That's a
he
cute
gives in
picture.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
That's a very
know.
cute picture.
What are they wearing? Oh, shirt and tie.
One piece of dubious advice that he gives is do insider trading.
Oh.
It's all insider trading anyway, which, whatever, but
Oh,
as a recommendation.
Okay.
surprise!
Um,
You can succeed if you cheat and break the law and
Yeah.
just have insider
Yeah.
access
Why
that
didn't
poor
I think of
people
that?
He says
obviously.
he
Sure.
says to do legal insider trading, but I think that's a distinction just for the book. Another piece of dubious advice. Well, his book is founded on anecdotes of people, his rich dad teaching and in his own words grooming him, because he goes to great lengths to explain to you why the way rich dad teaches him doesn't count as child abuse.
Oh, good.
That's the only way he can imagine being taught is by unpaid labour as a child.
What's that drumming movie, Whiplash or something?
Right.
Like, he's got his rich dad as like the...
His rich dad
like...
is J.K. Simmons throwing a fucking cymbal at his head, being like, that's how you make money.
And give me pictures of Spider-Man!
Pictures of Spider-Man do make you a lot of money. For the record.
They didn't make Peter Parker a lot of money.
Well, that's because Peter Parker had a poor dad.
Oh.
He didn't learn.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but through these anecdotes, there's massively overinflated claims about the amount of money you can make on real estate if you're just smart enough. Like, they're like once in a lifetime deals that he finds regularly when he's jogging.
I'll try and keep it brief, but from my electronic engineering degree and the crossover with computer science, this idea that if you're just smart enough, the property market is going to make you infinitely rich. One of the main applications of machine learning as it's being used right now is to try and predict how to invest in property. And this is one of the reasons why I find it really ridiculous and silly when like Elon Musk or whoever is like, AI is going to kill us. And it's like, no, it isn't. Like, it's just, they're just trying to predict house prices.
To be fair, I don't want a robot landlord.
Well, you already have one, so... Oh, you don't want a soulless machine who's only invested in gathering profit from you as a landlord.
Number go up.
And then the third piece of dubious advice that he gives, again, comes in the form of an anecdote. He says, you can always back out of a deal, even if you've signed all of the paperwork.
That's the
You
Alcibiades
just
method.
add in a clause. You just put in a clause saying, subject to approval by my business partner. And they don't need to know that my business partner is my cat.
What?
Which is, if anyone pulled you up on that, if anyone's like, oh yeah, who's his business partner?
Don't know whether that would quite
I'm
stand
gonna
up
get
in
that for
court.
Weird guy. Why would you even need to... Surely, like, why would you need to get your cat off?
So basically, what you need to do is you need to illegally inside trade, lie through the courts, and also become a landlord, and that's how you get rich.
Yeah.
All things
More or
poor
less.
people have loads of access to. If they only read this book, they'll just be able to do that.
Fucking rolling in it, mate.
Yeah, they'll be able to do that because, well, we'll get onto that. We'll get onto how exactly poor people can become rich people. But first, let's go through the rather dubious philosophy underpinning this whole book. Here's some contradictions. Taxes are bad because the rich don't pay them, which means all of the burden falls on the poor and middle class. The rich shouldn't pay taxes because taxes are bad.
Because it's poor people having to pay them.
That's Euthyphro. Yeah.
Precisely.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Socialised healthcare increases the gap between the rich and the poor, and that's bad because it led to the fall of Rome, etc.
Oh.
The fall of great civilizations is because of a significant wealth gap. So socialised healthcare is bad, apparently. Some people get rich and some fall behind. That's exciting evolution that Robert Kiyosaki wants to be part of.
So, the inequality is exciting evolution, but also inequality is bad when it is caused somehow magically by socialised healthcare and causes the fall of Rome.
In general, you want to worry... You just want to ask yourself the question of, like, whose interests is Robert Kiyosaki concerned with when he makes these statements? It's really not very hard to get to the bottom of.
I'm in another dimension since socialized medicine increases the gap between the rich and the... I'm just in another plane of existence. Wow.
Yes.
Also that led to the fall of Rome. So much packed into just a small nugget. Like, wow. I feel like I've had like one of those vitamin pills, but it's just ideas.
Ideas.
Fuck.
Did they have socialized
I know, that's
healthcare
what
in
I'm
Rome?
thinking. Like,
No,
they had bread.
Of a sort,
Just that
that's
the
not
wealth gap. What I meant, I paraphrased poorly, perhaps.
Okay.
The wealth gap
Yeah, no.
is what leads to.
Yeah. But that's not true either. Well, that's not what caused the fall of Rome.
Yeah, no.
You got shot with a big gun. That's what caused it. Yeah. All right. Sorry.
I pushed it over. Taxes are bad because they stop employers paying you more, but also, and Rich Dad explains this in detail, he justifies paying very little to his employees in great detail. Employers shouldn't pay much because workers don't know what's good for them, or they're just scared or lazy, and people push you around because you have no self-discipline.
Right. J. Jonah
And
Jameson.
so people should push you around so you have self-discipline, maybe?
J. Jonah Jameson. Peter Parker. Right?
Yeah.
Not paying very much for pictures of Spider-Man, but earning a lot of money on pictures of Spider-Man. Weak, cocked Spider-Man paying, only accepting a very small amount for his pictures of Spider-Man. Rich dad, poor dad. It's right there.
So basically, you shouldn't pay workers very much because they're worthless because they let you treat them like they're worthless because you insist on treating them like they're worthless.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Fully that.
Yeah.
So this brings us quite neatly to the reason you're poor.
Oh.
Are you arrogant? Are you greedy? Are you a little scaredy baby? Or do you just lack self-discipline? It's one of those four.
Arrogant
Bob.
after all of that.
Bob Cratchit famously was all of these things.
Which one's me? I'm lack of self-discipline. That's me. That's why I'm poor.
Either you're too scared to quit your job not quit your job. You're too scared to invest, or you don't have the self-discipline to do 3 jobs so that you can build your asset column. And I don't know if he considers or really cares about people who do 3 jobs just to survive. Or you're greedy.
He thinks they're worthless because
maybe
they
that's-
allow employers to treat them badly.
Yeah.
Look.
Or you're arrogant and you think you know better than Robert Kiyosaki.
Bob,
And there's such a sweet quote in the book where he's like, some people won't follow the teachings of this book and they won't succeed because they're arrogant, but you're reading this, which means you're not arrogant. You're cool.
oh my god.
He didn't say you're cool. Yeah.
Bob Cratchit arrogantly asked Scrooge for, the day before Christmas off as well, because he greedily wanted to spend time with Tiny Tim before he died, because he was afraid Tiny Tim would die, cuck. He wasn't disciplined enough to work hard enough to, get him to a doctor. That's what it is.
I don't like this guy.
Oh, really? Really?
We should link
What's
that.
not good about him?
We should link that interview in
Did I
the
miss something?
description because
He seemed like a chill bro so far.
Rachel
Well.
cannot even describe through this presentation, through describing the book, how much of an asshole this guy is.
Oh, it's shocking.
It cannot be imagined.
Yeah, the first time I came across this guy was in a video. It was being interviewed by George Buhnici, who's a Romanian vlogger, I don't know, maybe vloggers are understating it.
Business person, interest.
Content creator.
Yeah. Yeah, there we
He's
go.
a Romanian content creator, and every time he asks a genuine question of Robert Kiyosaki, bullying is the response. He repeats the same 4 lines over and over and over and over again. They taught you, go to school, get a job, get a mortgage, invest in the stock market, and that's bad. You've got to unlearn that. He said that hundreds of times, and every time he was asked a question, he's just like, you haven't been listening to me, have you? It's genuinely horrible.
Insufferable.
He's horrible and he is bullying is exactly the word. He's just a bully.
Probably. But the solution, anyway, to your poverty is lifelong learning. We need Tai Lopez here.
Oh, yeah.
Knowledge.
You just need to
On one
subscribe to
axis.
LinkedIn Learning and then it'll be fine.
Cash on the
Knowledge.
other axis.
Knowledge.
How do you get knowledge? Seminars, educational games, that kind of thing. You know, like he also suggests join a multi-level marketing company so you can learn sales.
I've heard that the more you earn, the more you learn.
I've heard that
Yeah, sure.
you need to learn just enough to gather with your comrades and have a revolution. And then everyone can have a chill time.
There you go.
And then we won't need cash anymore.
But you know, he's a generous man.
Oh.
This is his Facebook post. It says, give what you want to receive. If you want more time, give time. If you want more money, give money.
Give me money, Robert.
Rich dad. Generous man. Here's some responses to that. Which pretty much sums up the opinions. He's a generous man in other ways too. Do you remember I mentioned that he thinks that seminars are a really good way of learning about money? Well, he actually offers free seminars.
That's
I don't know
so
if you need to have
generous.
bought a copy of his book to attend.
Oh.
And like what you learn at these seminars is truly revelatory. You learn that if you spend $495, you can go to another seminar.
Oh.
And at that seminar, you learn that if you spend up to $45,000, you can go to another seminar. And he's a generous man with generous friends. What I didn't put in here, because you've had one picture of Donald Trump in this presentation already. You don't need another one. He's co-authored 2 books with the man himself. General advice, invest in property, and be more entrepreneur. From what I could gather, I didn't bother reading those ones.
It's okay.
I've done enough for this.
Yeah, you did enough just by reading the one book. How long did it take you? How much of your life are you not getting back from reading that?
Also in that Buhnici interview, he mentioned several times being friends with Donald Trump.
Oh.
Claim to fame.
In the knowledge cash graph, what's the point at which you learn the prisoner's dilemma? Because I just the knowledge seems to go up, but they never encounter the idea that you work together and get more rewards through altruism.
He does tell you, even though you should pay most people badly, if you really need them, you should pay them a lot.
Oh. Not quite
Does
the
that
same,
count?
but yeah. Not quite the same, but you're getting there.
It's working with people. So how do you get rich? This is a photo of my laundry money.
Wow. Fucking loaded.
I recognise that table.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, how do you get rich? If you had any guesses as to how, aside from selling seminars, how Kiyosaki got rich, what would you say?
You save up your pennies. Pounds take care of themselves.
Yeah.
I'm imagining this is a man who has never once had avocado toast in his life. So
What I really want to know is, did he have a poor dad in the first place, or is he just a fucking scam?
Yeah.
I think he had a
liar?
dad who's roughly as he describes him.
Right.
Okay.
To describe him as poor dad and attribute all of the things that he said to him, I'm not so sure about, but
Yeah.
yeah. Also, by the way, one of the things he does really early on in the book is his dad pulls up in the driveway as he and his friend, having collected toothpaste tubes for the last month from all of their neighbours, they're melting them down and trying to make coins. And the dad's just watching them play with molten lead like it's no big deal. I'm like, this didn't happen. 8 years old. Don't believe that.
Melty, did toothpaste used to come in lead?
I guess. I don't know. That's what
That
he
doesn't
said.
make any
magical.
You'd be poisoned.
That's what he
Badly.
said. Long story short, he didn't get rich before selling books and seminars.
Oh, that's weird.
This is his whole business.
Kelsey
And
Wait,
his
so
business-
what's he advising
Right.
on? Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Join a multi-level marketing company, I guess.
Oh.
Start a scam.
Yeah,
Get rich by starting a scam and exploiting other people to tell them they can get rich if they just do what you do.
And they're being arrogant if they don't believe you.
I can never find the energy to hate Ty Lopez, but I am aware this is exactly the same thing he does.
Yeah,
Like,
so many of them.
Yeah,
He's
and
just
all of
literally
the
like-
all of the pre-roll adverts on YouTube, they're just like, you tired of being told by those other guys who are saying the same thing that I'm saying, that you can get rich? Well, I can tell you how to get rich.
Also, Ty Lopez retweeted me the other day. I was very excited about that.
Oh my god.
I was excited because someone had put a reference to him in a video game. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a bit of a gamer. And basically, I saw it and I was very excited. I was like, oh my god, they put Ty Lopez in Going Under. And he clearly just name searches himself.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tag him, but he immediately retweeted it within like 10 seconds.
So what you can do is on TweetDeck, you can have a column which is entirely just search terms. So you can have it
Wow.
in your TweetDeck column of your own name, and then every tweet that mentions you will just pop up on your timeline.
Okay, well, he definitely does that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I believe
Anyway,
that.
what? Don't date the video. I say as I look at the Christmas tree behind you.
yeah.
His company has gone bankrupt at least once, but you know, in rich people terms, that's not a big deal.
Yeah,
like
they love
that's
debt.
honestly,
They love to play with
they were
debt.
being sued for something. They
Yeah.
were being sued, and it was easier to go bankrupt than it was to pay it off. So all of the funds were in a different company. It was fine. Limited liability. Yeah.
It's good to limit
Who,
liability.
who hasn't been bankrupted before?
That's pretty much what you want to know about Robert Kiyosaki. Don't trust him.
That's yeah. He sounds like a deeply unpleasant man. I don't know if I want to watch the video that you're saying you're going
I'm
to.
gonna say you don't want to.
It'll
That's
make
my
you really
tip.
mad.
I don't want to get mad.
Like this guy's just like earnestly like, okay, but what can you tell, you know, the people watching this right now that might actually like help them right now? Like they want to have money, they want to be successful. What can you tell them? And he's just like, you haven't been listening to me. You're an idiot. Everyone's an idiot. They're all just sheep.
I think if I was interviewing someone and they did that to me, I would literally start crying.
The interviewer just like has the patience of a saint. It's like,
Yeah.
I was impressed that he managed to hold his tongue, honestly.
Go see Curio's channel. It's good.
Yeah, go to
If
that.
you're here, you've probably been there already.
Yes, 90% of our subscribers come from Soap's channel. However,
Yeah, on the off chance.